Mr. Transformers 96 here with another video where we talk about a newly shown Hot Toys figure, and this time talking about from the Book of Boba Fett, Cad Bane, which is very exciting. So ever since, Cad Bane came into the picture for Boba Fett, I've really wanted and expected Hot Toys to make one. I've wanted one as they've done Clone Wars figures. I've wanted one even before that, but once he showed up in Boba Fett, that's when I expected one. So it did take them quite a while, but they did finally put up a figure. However, I can't fault them. They're still quicker than Hasbro, which blows my mind. We still have yet to see any sort of hint of a Hasbro, just 6-inch figure of this character from the Book of Boba Fett. So very excited to get Hot Toys' version. They previewed him like a week or two ago, so very quick to do the preview and then to have the official images, so that's really exciting. I'm a big Bounty Hunter fan in general, and I really love Cad Bane. When he first showed up, his complete Western motif threw me, but I've learned to love him over the years, and at this point, I'm a big fan, so I'm very excited to get the official images and the pre-order details for this character. So let's talk about it. So there is, as you can see here, two different versions. There's a standard and a deluxe, and I like the idea of what they did for the standard and deluxe. The standard version is your Book of Boba Fett Cad Bane. The deluxe version comes with just a few extra accessories, but those accessories are exclusive to the Clone Wars and make him like a Clone Wars figure. So I think that's really fun. Starting off with the face sculpt, I think that the actual sculpt of him, of the alien, particularly his look in the Book of Boba Fett, his live action look, is fantastic. I know there's some debate whether people like his look in that show. They did, widen his face a little bit, which if you look at, and same thing with the Inquisitor, a lot of these characters in animation have long, thin heads, but in live action they have more normal heads. But with the characters that we only know from animation, it's extremely jarring. But if you look at like other characters like Count Dooku, who started out in live action first, it's normal to see him in live action, and then they thin out his face for the animation. So it doesn't bother me. I think that they did a great job for his look here in the live action format. So it doesn't bother me. I think that the face sculpt looks fantastic. The detail in it is wonderful, and I love the fact that there's interchangeable expressions. I'm a big fan of having expressions with Hot Toys. It happens very rarely because most of the time we just get the one head sculpt. They don't do multiple, sculpts for different expressions. And if they only do one, probably more than like 19 out of 20 times, it's just a standard, very stern look. Or it, has the tiniest bit of a smirk, something like that. So it's very unusual to get expression. So it's fantastic to see that this one has expression. You have a stern look like this. You have one where his mouth's open, almost like he's talking. And then you have one like this where he's, like yelling, shooting, fighting, that type of look. So I think that that's awesome. Here's all three of the expressions together. I think that every single one of them looks good too. Sometimes when there is ever multiple expressions, like with a Batman figure, sometimes there's a weak one in there. But with this Cad Bane one, I don't see a weak one at all. I think from all angles it looks fantastic, and all the expressions look fantastic too. So that's very exciting. The overall figure himself, the clothing, the proportions, he looks great. He's very thin and spindly, which is how he should be. He's also rather tall. They did a comparison shot of him with Boba Fett, as they did show and put on pre-order another Boba Fett figure, and he is much taller than Boba Fett. This figure is about 13.3 inches tall, so almost an inch and a half taller than your average Hot Toy figure, which is very nice. It's accurate, and it makes for a larger figure, which makes for more bang for your buck, basically. So very happy about that. But the tailoring on the clothes look great. I do wonder if there is, like with this shot right here, it really looks like there's a wire in the coat. So I expect there to be a wire, and I think that'll be really nice, especially with a Western type of character like this, to have the tip of the coat, kind of flowing with a breeze of air. I think really adds to that kind of Western motif. So I really like that a lot. His hat looks good. It's a little more flocked than I would like. From some shots, it almost looks like a straw hat. It's so like feathery. So I'm not a huge fan of the material they use on the hat. It's not the end of the world, and some of the close-up shots I think make it look worse than it will be in person. So it's not something that really bothers me, but it is something I noticed. As far as accessories are concerned, so the accessory-wise, with the standard version, you get the 3 different alternative face sculpts. You get a standard base, it's just the sand base that we've been getting with a lot of the Mandalorian figures, just like IG-11 and the Mandalorian himself. You get a small selection of hands. It looks like he just comes with fists, relaxed palms, and trigger finger hands. And then you get his 2 pistols and a flame accessory that can shoot out of his gauntlet. So that's what the standard version, that's, as far as the Book of Boba Fett goes, that's perfect. I can't think of one more accessory I'd like him to come with. Those extra faces are a little above what I would expect from them anyway, so I'm very happy when it comes to the Book of Boba Fett accessories. The deluxe version includes just a couple of extra ones. For Cad Bane himself, he comes with the kind of thrusters for his ankles that can attach on. They do also have a very small kind of flame effect with them. That's very nice. That's something that, of course, he used all the time in the Clone Wars. He was able to fly to some degree, like not into space, but, he could shoot up, and it helped him keep up and to actually fight Jedi, because without those, I think that it would be a little bit harder for him to actually take on a Jedi. But with those, it made him a little bit more even. So I do like that. That's a nice accessory here. And then Todo 360. I really like Todo 360. This little droid, worked with Cad Bane in... I can't remember the season. It was an earlier season. At the end of the episode, though, he did end up dying. Cad Bane put a bomb in him without Todo even knowing, and he blew up. Now, he was in the Bad Batch as well. When Cad Bane showed up there, he had a Todo droid. It couldn't have been this exact one, of course, but, he does kind of work with this style of droid, and I always really loved Todo from that episode, so very happy to see that there is a Todo 360 figure here. The figure itself looks quite nice. He does come with a little flight stand too, and little thrusters for the bottom of his feet, which I think is cool. I'm not sure how the articulation works. As far as the legs, it almost looks like there's no articulation in the legs, but it's hard to tell. The arms definitely have some articulation, but I don't know if it's just like a ball joint at the shoulder, or if it does, have like actual elbow joints as well too. I'm sure the head's on a ball joint, and from what I'm aware, there's not lights in it, but it would have been really cool if there was a light up feature for those eyes. So overall, I like the deluxe version. It's not a ton extra, but it is just enough extra to make it very Clone Wars-y. So if you don't really have a live action display, but you have a Clone Wars display, even if you get the standard, it still completely works. But if you get the deluxe, it's just a little more Clone Wars, and it definitely stands out as a Clone Wars look. So here is the pre-order details on this one. So the deluxe version is $290. Standard version is $270. So it's a $20 difference. If you are only, if you don't really watch the Clone Wars, you're just kind of watching the live action stuff, the standard one is going to be perfect for you. No need to get the other one. For me personally, $20 for the the thrusters on his ankles, and then for Todo 360, it's worth it. I really like Todo 360. So although my collection isn't like Clone Wars themed, he will be displayed with my other bounty hunters from live action, but I just really like Todo 360, so he's going to be a nice addition on there. And, Todo 360 is a little bit bigger than you probably even think, because you look at him compared to him, and your eyes just automatically kind of think that Cad Bane is a normal-sized figure, but Cad Bane is 1.5 inches taller than your average figure, which makes the proportions on Todo, if he was just with a normal figure, to be larger. So Todo 360, he's a nice-sized accessory, he really is. So overall, that $20 is worth it for me. But again, this is not like a deluxe or nothing type of a situation. The standard version would work perfectly fine. The expected ship date is the last couple quarters of next year, which is unfortunate. It's quite far away. It's more than a year away, which is standard, for Hot Toys. But yeah, nothing you can do. It would have been better had this figure been released along with the show, like for pre-order, I mean. That way, you wait a year and a quarter or so. But we had to wait 6 months after the show ended to even get it on pre-order to wait the year and a half. So that's a bit of a bummer. Nonetheless, though, no matter if it was today or in a year and a half, I'm going to totally want this figure. So this is an absolute must-have for myself. This is definitely one that is well needed. And I do have a Bounty Hunter shelf, so to add an extra figure to it is going to be very exciting. But there you go. That's my thoughts on this newly shown Hot Toys figure being from the Book of Boba Fett, and it is Cad Bane. Let me know what you guys think of it, and thanks so much for watching.